bothered me since living in Ballard and having a place in Ballard, but probably since about 2014, so about 3 years we've been working on the Ballard Bridge. It was at night and I was biking across the bridge, and I remember that I usually just have panniers on my left side, the bike bags on the rack on my left side, and I actually had one on both sides. And I always am nervous biking across the bridge, so I try to hug that railing wall as much as I can on the exterior. And I don't know exactly what it was, whether it was a gust of wind or a car that had come by that had pushed me a little bit, but I went over and my bike bag hit the side wall, and there are occasional little jut outs for light posts, or I don't know, they don't all have light posts on it, the little things, concrete things that come out, and my bag hit that and it bounced me and I fell into the traffic lane. There's the little 10-inch curb that I had fallen over, and thankfully it was at night and there was no cars coming. I was able to pick myself up and get off the bridge really quickly, but if it had been in the middle of traffic on a busy day, I don't know what would have happened.
Heading northbound, I've had cars that were coming off of 15th to go to the north end of Queen Anne try and merge with me. I had a bus that I actually did have to jump up onto the sidewalk because the bus came in from the side, then just kept drifting over towards the curb, and I was there. The main safety issue is if somebody falls onto the deck, which has happened and someone has died actually from that happening, that fixing that would be done just by adding a safety rail on the car side. But in fact, what that would do would create a real obstacle, because then you'd have an extremely narrow, dangerous passing in terms of having to hold your bike totally steady and not being able to cross if there's someone coming the other way, whether they're on foot. Even at that point, if there were two people on foot, it would be quite dangerous. So, and if you saw the latest prioritization map, it's not a priority still.
There's definitely things that could be done sooner, and I was expecting them to be done sooner. So, we got the money there for some of it. We've got our ideas shared, but as far as actual implementation or movement, nothing's really been done yet. Yeah.
The problem is that the streets have been engineered incorrectly, and that's why we have accidents, or the number of accidents that we might have. I was quite moved this past year when there was the activity taking place around the city showing every fatality that had occurred for someone walking, driving, or riding a bicycle, with the white figurines with a name and a little bit of facts about the people. It makes you realize that you hear about an accident or a collision, and you have to realize that there are real people that are affected by that. And the number of those things that were around the city just from 10 years was really startling, that many people have died on the roadways. So that I think that was something we need to keep in mind as all of this moves forward, is that really the goal is to not have any more white silhouettes out on the streets.